Well, welcome subscribers, welcome new viewers. How you doing? I'm Ion Prime, and today got a good list of stories to talk about, and I'll go over my experience with the open beta this past weekend for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. But today I'm going to be discussing God of War Laufey release date, and Atari movies are coming. Yeah. But first up, we're going to talk about Sony Santa Monica. They were at Comic-Con over the weekend, and they revealed a release date for God of War Laufey. It's coming out on February 16th, 2027. A lot of folks figured it would be, early in 2027 when this would come out, and it certainly is. And it's all going to be on the disc, by the way. And God of War Laufey follows Laufey as she battles her way, hopefully, out of the afterlife. I think it looks like a really, really cool game. A very fast-paced game compared to God of War with Kratos and, his more tank movements, for lack of a better term. Daredevil and True Blood star Deborah Ann Wall, she is starring as Laufey, and, her acting and her motion capture looks really good in the game. And during that same panel, it was also announced that a new God of War game starring Kratos is in early development, and this game actually connects to her story. So I would assume that once we get to the end of God of War Laufey, I'm sure that will kind of leave it open into whatever this next game is. And they're also working on that God of War 1 through 3 remake as well. So yeah, if you are a God of War fan, you are eating good right now, despite all the controversy that's going around Sony. And during a recent panel at Final Fantasy XIV Fan Festival in Berlin, Final Fantasy XIV director Naoki Yoshida was joined on stage by Final Fantasy VII Trilogy Remake director Naoki Hamaguchi. Now, they were asked about remaking Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VIII, and Final Fantasy IX. And their response essentially was that the scope of those games is so large that, quote, if we did remake those other titles, we'd probably end up having to release them in 4 installments or maybe even 5 installments. Yeah, obviously, that's a lot. I mean, we've got the 3 games for the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, and that has seemed like a lot to do. So, I mean, to have 4 or 5 different installments for these different remakes, I think the better path would be just a more of a remaster treatment, say, for Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX. We did kind of get that with Final Fantasy VIII, but I think they could probably go just a tad bit further with that one. But I would say more that the remaster treatment would be really good for 8 and for 9. Final Fantasy VI, why not do an HD 2D remake? I mean, really, you wouldn't have to change much of the game. You just, kind of one for one, but more updating the graphics to that HD 2D gorgeous looking style for that game. Now, at that same panel, they also hinted at early development of Final Fantasy XVII. That should come as no surprise, as successful as Final Fantasy XVI was, and it's a fantastic game. If you have not had a chance to play it, pick it up right now. It's cheap in stores. I've seen it $25 in stores right now, but definitely pick Final Fantasy XVI up if you have not played it. But Final Fantasy XVII, I think, is going to be real good, going to build on what 16 established and, go whatever other direction that they decide to take it. And I think it's going to be really good whenever it does finally come out. And Atari, they have signed a deal with Universal to make 10 movies out of their games. Now, the 10 games that they're talking about is Asteroids, Adventure, Berserk, Breakout, Centipede, Crystal Castles, Millipede, Missile Command, Pong, and Yar's Revenge. I mean, that's a decent list of games. I can see a lot of these games having some good movies. Obviously, Missile Command, I think, can make a really good movie. Asteroids, I think, could make a decent movie. Yar's Revenge could as well. Pong, I don't know what you could do with Pong. Crystal Castles, I think, could be really good. Breakout, I think, it could be a little, but hey. Writers Matt Riley and Carl Hampe, they are writing the script for the very first unnamed movie in this series. And really, all I got to say is this could be really, really interesting. These could be some really good movies, or it could just be an absolute disaster. So we'll just have to wait and see whenever this first one comes out, and kind of what they are doing to make these movies or make these games more of a movie. So I don't know. We'll see. Some of these writers can definitely have some interesting ideas. These two guys could probably do that. We shall see. And finally, Pokemon fan Professor Rex, he decided to set up, get this, 58 consoles so he could catch the very elusive and very rare shiny Golduck. Now, he used a collection of GameCubes and Wiis to hunt with a Pokemon box Ruby and Sapphire. The disc can actually be put in the console, it can be ejected, and the game would actually continue to play after that. So that's kind of how he was able to set up all these different consoles to be able to do this. Now, it's not known if he actually caught that elusive shiny Golduck. Apparently, it's a really rare, like 1 in 9 million to be able to catch that one. And yeah, it's a very complicated process as you read through the whole article of how he did it and setting it up and using a Wavebird apparently to be able to communicate with all the consoles. Yeah, but so I'll leave that full story down in the description below because it would take me a good 15 minutes to explain kind of how he all did this. So I'll let you read the rest of it down there, but still interesting to set up 58 consoles to try to catch this particular shiny, rare, super rare shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. So yeah, check it out. It's definitely interesting how he was able to get all that done. And finally, over the weekend, we had an open beta for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Got to play as over half of the playable characters that will be available at launch. I got to play in 4 of the different stages. And, going through the open beta, it was a lot of fun. It was good that we got that early tutorial because, again, I'm horrible at fighting games. I enjoy playing them. I'm just not very good at them, but I do like playing them. And it was nice to be able to go through the tutorial to kind of figure out how to do all the different moves, do all the special moves, how to bring in your teammates. And really, it's not overcomplicated to get the moves going. But, for me, trying to figure out the different moves and getting the different combos together, it takes me a little bit to get all that down. Because, again, I've just never been very good at getting those combos down. And so I did too, a few matches, got absolutely clobbered in all of them, was able to win some of the fights, just never was able to win, the full match. I was never able to win, but did play a little bit of that single player mode as well. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. I know a lot of folks don't like the single player modes in fighting games, but this one was a lot of fun. The different comic book frames that you got to go through to tell this story, and you were following Spider-Man in that story. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to when this comes out on August 7th is when it comes out, and it should be a lot of fun. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, definitely, and it's a really good fighting game, by the way. Just watching some of the matches that I was able to spectate, I mean, good grief, it moves fast. It's very fluid. It's good. It's a good game. It's a very, very good fighting game, and I think this is going to be a very successful fighting game going forward. And be kind of interesting to see what that first year DLC is going to be. We're getting a Phoenix Cyclops is the first character of that year 1 DLC. So it'll be interesting to see who the other 3 characters are and who that extra stage or where that extra stage will be for this fighting game. So going to be some good stuff. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and I very much enjoyed my time with that open beta this weekend. Well, I'm Ion Prime, folks. Thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, would love to have you as a subscriber, as a follower. Please come along for the ride. Would love to have you along. All my sources, anything I've talked about today, that will be down in the description below. So be sure to check out those sources, get some more details about what I've talked about. Anything you want to talk about that I've talked about today, do that in the comment section down below. Would love to see your comments. And of course, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you don't. I do not mind at all if you dislike the video. That is obviously your opinion. But guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. And keep your controllers charged. I'll be back with some more gaming news coming up tomorrow. Really do appreciate it.